Greetings to readers, viewers, and listeners. Welcome to this next edition in the latest installment of the Advent tradition of the Lenten tradition, known as Letters for Lent. As with all these videos, these are going to be dedicated in memory to the living and deceased members of the Defino family, a family that means a lot to me in the community as well. I just want to explain. I'm sorry if I'm doing these videos like the day of. I'll get to that a little bit later, like next week, like this week. But I wanted to say I'm focusing on the videos I can, just to make sure that they're out on time. This video is going to be all about the fifth Sunday for Lent. So that's going to be the whole focus. The show notes will be in the description below. But I want to just talk about. I had two topics for this one. One was about hope. And it makes sense. I mean, it makes sense when you consider that a couple of days from on Friday or Thursday, it was the first day of spring. After the winter we've had in a while, we need a little bit of light and we need a little bit of hope. But I'm also going to say it's also because of life, because with the darkness of spring, with the darkness of winter being as it is, I mean, it still feels like it's lifeless. It still feels like it feels like things aren't getting any better. But now, with the first day of spring coming in, now things seem to start to feel a little bit more like spring. The snow's melted, the flowers are coming out, and people and birds and animals are coming out of hibernation. So there's a little bit of life to it. And those two things, life and hope, are both interchangeable in this case. Because Joe Defino Sr., on God rest his soul, was an individual who was very much part of the hope of the pro-life movement. And his son, Joe Jr., whom I've mentioned here on the Autistic Super Channel multiple times before, is someone that talks about Hope Rocks. I actually did a video of the Hope Cast a couple of days ago. So it kind of got me thinking about which one I should do. But I realized in saying it now that hope and life actually come together. And it's kind of ironic that they're doing it now when it comes to springtime, because things might feel a little bit distant in your life. Things might feel like it's feeling like lifeless and listless and just not having a lot of energy. But now with spring coming around, suddenly you feel that burst of energy. And that's kind of the whole situation that I'm dealing with in my life too. Let me give you an example of my own life, so dear readers and viewers and listeners. When I went through my autistic burnout, which, again, I have documented here on the Autistic Super channel multiple times before in the Autistic Super blog as well, I felt my time so low energy. I kind of felt like I needed more time to rest. I needed more time to relax. But now, as I'm feeling it now, 3 years later, I'm feeling that I need to protect my energy, but I also feel like I have a lot more energy because of the time that I'm able to relax by myself. Because of the hibernation, as it were. But it's all been because of feeling life for the first time in quite a long time. And that's kind of the whole situation, I'm sure, with you all. That you might feel depressed, that you might feel lonely, that you might feel angry, upset, and feeling that things can't go any worse for you. But the one thing I want to just explain is that's a way. My point to bring up on this is not to lose hope, even in the darkest nights. Because think of it this way: if you go into cold spring, having a bonfire or having something like that kind of not only warms your heart, but also warms you as an individual, because you're feeling that warmth. You're feeling that connection from the community. You're feeling that that warmth, that light, and it kind of makes things feel not as bad as it could be. I know I'm using bonfires as kind of like a metaphor, but the point of it is, it's all for the good. Um, but but during these next couple of days when it comes to a spring, I have no doubt that we'll be feeling a lot more light. We'll be feeling a lot more springtime feelings coming in, and that's the whole situation when it comes to a spring, because Lent, as the situation, as I've heard it said, is Latin for springtime or Greek for springtime. And one important point for this one too, to come right at the time that we're coming into spring. Hope and light are hope and light are both things that can help out at the same time. But it needs us to kind of communicate that. Again, dear readers and listeners, I hope you all are enjoying these videos. I'm enjoying them too. I know I'm coming off as a little bit impromptu. That's kind of the nature to these. And if you like these videos, please like, share, and subscribe to the Autistic Super Channel. And if you like these videos, please check me out on the Autistic Super Channel.wordpress.com, on the Autistic Super Channel on YouTube. And you can check out all my videos on the AutisticSuperblog.wordpress.com. Until next time, dear readers and listeners, stay safe, stay strong, and as always, shine on.